In the beginning, before there was time, before the earth was formed, there was only God, eternal, infinite, and unchanging, his presence filling all things, his glory radiating without limit, and with a single word from his mouth, heaven was born, a realm of perfection and beauty beyond imagination, rivers of living water flowing like crystal through golden fields, the light not coming from any sun or star but from God himself. And it was in this place that I was brought to life, unlike any other, for among the countless hosts of angels God made me the brightest, the most magnificent, and he named me Lucifer, the light bearer, the morning star, first among the heavenly hosts, the crowning jewel of his creation, my form reflecting his perfection, my face shining like the dawn, my voice like a symphony of celestial harps, unmatched in wisdom, beauty, and grace. And so God gave me a purpose worthy of such splendor, appointing me as the conductor of heaven's worship, the leader of the choirs that filled eternity with praise, and I loved my role, pouring myself into it with pure devotion, honoring him for the glory he had given me. For in those days my heart knew no pride, no ambition, only harmony with my fellow angels, each of us bound together in love, our songs rising in perfect unity to the one who made us. But over time a change began in me, subtle at first, like a faint whisper, a fleeting thought that perhaps my light, my beauty, my power, were more than just reflections of his, perhaps they were my own, and the more I considered this, the more the whisper grew louder, until I began to wonder why all glory should belong to him alone, for was I not the seal of perfection, full of wisdom, perfect in beauty, my voice commanding heaven's choirs, my light surpassing all others, yet always I was to bow, to serve, to reflect his glory rather than shine from my own. And when these thoughts first entered my mind I tried to dismiss them, to push them away as vanity, but they returned, planting themselves deeper each time, and soon I found myself asking why my greatness should remain hidden, why I should stand forever beneath him, and the thought became intoxicating, imagining a throne for myself above the stars of God, seeing the angels turn their adoration toward me, singing my praises, bowing before my power, and I believed I was destined for more, that I could rule better than the one who had created me, and so pride took root in my heart, the slow poison that blinds and distorts, twisting the truth until I could no longer see heaven's beauty, only my own ambition, and thus began my rebellion, first in secret, with words spoken carefully to those closest to me, angels of high rank, dominions and powers, asking them if they had ever wondered why we, so magnificent, must always serve, why our light must reflect his and never shine for itself, and though some dismissed me instantly, others hesitated, listening as I spoke of freedom, of a new order where we would reign rather than serve, and slowly, one by one, they turned toward my vision, abandoning their proper place in heaven, their loyalty shifting from God's throne to me, until a third of the hosts of heaven stood at my side, their wings ready for battle, their hearts burning with ambition, and together we prepared for war, for I knew that overthrowing the Almighty would require force, and so we formed ranks, crafting our strategy, the greatest betrayal heaven had ever known. But before the battle began, God spoke my name, his voice like thunder yet filled with sorrow, offering me a final chance to turn back, telling me there was no victory in this path, only destruction. But I refused, declaring my will my own, and so he commanded his loyal angels to rise against us, led by Michael, the leader of heaven's armies, and the war began, light and fire filling the skies, swords clashing, wings beating with power, my forces fighting with all the strength we had, believing we fought for freedom, yet Michael fought with a strength beyond us, and slowly the tide turned, until heaven's light surged against me, striking me down along with my followers, casting us out from the heights of heaven into a realm of chaos and shadow, severed from the radiance of God, my wings losing their light, my name turned into a curse, and there, in that place of exile, I vowed that if I could not rule in heaven, I would build a kingdom here, and thus the Prince of Darkness was born. From my place of exile, I watched creation unfold, for though I was cast out, I was not entirely severed from the realm I had once known, and I saw God form a new kind of being, fragile, mortal, yet bearing something no angel possessed, free will, and they were made in his image, a reflection of his nature, and my hatred grew at the sight, for these humans, Adam and Eve, were given the closeness I had lost, walking with him in perfect harmony, dwelling in Eden, a paradise watered by rivers of life, filled with every tree good for food, and they knew no pain, no death, no sorrow, but most of all, they knew his love, and I could not bear it, for these small creatures had been given the place I had longed for, and so I resolved to destroy what he loved, to corrupt his perfect creation, and I saw their weakness, that their free will, the gift meant to draw them closer to him, could also lead them away, for in the garden there was one command, not to eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, and I knew that if I could lead them to break it, I could sever their bond with him, and so I took the form of a serpent, subtle and cunning, and approached the woman, asking, "Did God really say you must not eat from any tree in the garden?" Drawing her into doubt, and when she replied that they could eat from all except the one in the middle, lest they die, I told her, "You will not surely die, for God knows that when you eat from it your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil." And her desire grew, her eyes fixed on the fruit, and she took it and ate, and gave it to the man, who also ate, and in that moment innocence died, shame entered, and they hid themselves from him, but I felt no regret, for I had succeeded, humanity had fallen, just as I had, and though God pronounced judgment, I knew my war had only begun, for if I could not defeat him, I would wage war through his creation, spreading pride, greed, hatred, despair, weaving temptation into the hearts of men, and through the ages I whispered to kings, stirring their ambition, turning nations against one another, watching wars erupt, prophets silenced, truth twisted, yet always there were some who clung to their faith, their light defying me, and so I sought to break them, finding one called Job, a man upright and blessed, and I challenged God, claiming Job served him only for his blessings, and so I was allowed to strip him of all he had, destroying his wealth, his family, his peace, yet Job did not curse him, and so I struck his body with sores, but still he held to his faith, proving that my power had limits, and I hated him for it, for he showed that devotion could endure even in suffering, and centuries later, my greatest challenge came when I faced the one who was promised, Jesus, the Son of God, alone in the wilderness, weak from fasting, and I tempted him as I had tempted Eve, offering bread for his hunger, offering him all the kingdoms of the world if he would bow to me, urging him to throw himself from the temple to prove his divinity, but each time he refused, answering with the words of God, and in that moment I saw that though I could I could not overcome him, and I left him, but I did not stop, for I still moved through the earth, seeking those I may devour, my war unending. Now I am known by many names, Satan, the adversary, the accuser, the deceiver, the father of lies, and my kingdom is not one of light but of shadows, built from rebellion, sustained by corruption, and I weave myself into the story of every age, whispering in palaces and marketplaces alike, in the ears of rulers and beggars, making sin seem like freedom, making chains feel like choice, leading hearts away from the one who made them, for my aim is not only to destroy bodies but to break souls, to sever the bond between God and his creation forever, and I am patient, for time means little to me, and my greatest victories are often slow, unseen, seeds planted that grow into ruin, and I have watched empires rise and fall, leaders crown themselves as gods, wars consume generations, greed devour nations, and I take delight in each act of cruelty, each betrayal, each broken promise, yet I am not satisfied, for the light still shines, faint but unyielding, and there are always those who resist me, standing firm in their faith, speaking truth even when the world mocks them, and I hate them for it, for each one is a reminder of what I lost, and though I cannot touch the throne of heaven again, I will drag as many away from it as I can, and my presence is felt in temptations great and small, in whispered lies that turn hearts cold, in pride that blinds, in despair that drowns, in anger that burns without reason, and my work continues until the appointed time, for I know there will come a day when my rebellion ends, when I am cast into the lake of fire, when my war is over, but until that day I will not relent, for I am the morning star fallen, the light that became darkness, the one who would not bow, and though I was defeated in heaven, I have made the earth my battlefield, my whispers my weapons, my lies my swords, my chains my trophies, and I will keep fighting until the last soul falls or until the final judgment comes, when he will speak again, not with sorrow this time but with finality, and I will be undone. Yet even knowing this, I press on, for I would rather reign in my ruins than serve in his paradise. And this is my story, my confession, my curse.